y'all doing? Good morning on the West Coast. Good morning in the Central. Good afternoon on the East Coast. I am Angela Nirvana, your hostess with the mostest on the Friends of ADOS TV channel, bringing you those ADOS hot topics and making the case for reparations. Some more, and making the case for the COVID stimulus relief until we get the relief we are due as ADOS. Yes, family. We are owed a greater debt than a COVID relief. Please don't get it twisted. This is not in lieu of our reparations claim. Like I said last week, that drum beat steady, family. What's up, Marika? Thank you for joining the live. Good morning, Oakland ADOS. Glad to have you in the building. Yeah, family. Please know that CBAC's COVID stimulus relief ain't got nothing to do with reparations. Okay? We need immediate relief. That's the square Angela Nirvana has been stomping on, spreading. That petition has got to close to 1,000 signatures. But we're taking it up a notch. We're taking it up a notch. We need 100,000 signatures, and we are going to roll out a plan that asks for not a measly $6,000 a month, but $10,999 per month for every ADOS for 24 months. What's up, Edward? Good morning. Glad to have you in the building. Make sure you share with me where you slinging bricks for ADOS so I can shout out your state, your city. I love y'all black. I love y'all strong. You know how I do it over here. You guys are my co-hosts. Make sure you chat it up. I got 2 powerful shows back to back. Hey, back to back. My daughter hates it when I keep it young and schmexy over here. But that's all I know. You can get older, family, without getting old, okay? And that's the lane I drive in. Yes, 53, soon to be 54, look at 35. That is the mission. Why not? Why not keep it youthful? Why not keep in touch with our millennials? Yeah, keep up with them, because this is what we're leaving to them. It's not about folks that's on their second rodeo, about to get up out of here. We've got to listen to the youth, to the Gen X's. Well, I'm on the border. Okay. But I absolutely, what's up, Glenn Pope? Thank you for joining the line. What's up? Thank you. Yes, 56. You probably look 36, because you know that amazing melanin don't crack. Y'all know what time it is with that black don't crack. Yes. Why not? Why not? Keep it young and schmexy till the wheels fall off, family. I hope you are taking your plant-based vitamins and antiviral supplements. Yeah, I wasn't on that racket before the COVID, but the COVID can't come for me, okay? So I want you to make sure you're taking your C, your D, your multivitamins, your elderberry. You know, I got a whole list. If you need my list, hit me up at Angela Nirvana, and I'm happy to share with you all of the wonderful supplements I'm taking. They're truly wonderful, because the crap I used to take, as soon as I miss a day, my whole system would be misaligned. I'd be sick, and I don't find that to be the case when you make sure it's plant-based and it's antiviral herbal supplements. Yeah, when you do that, you don't have to worry about getting sick. That synthetic stuff will kill you. Okay, all of it's a racket as far as I'm concerned, because they deplete the food of the nutrients we need to not require supplements and medication. So we must supplement because it is what it is, family. We just got to move to solutions. We can't cry in our beer about it. But anyway, back to my earlier point about us leaving this country to the millennials. Okay? These are the voices we should be listening to when it comes to the election. And I got a little disturbing email. Well, it really was a text from someone whom I love and adore and respect a great deal. I'm just chatting until Tamara Johnson Shealey comes into the lobby because, you know, ADOS put in work. She's got her own show that she's wrapping up right now. So this gives me a little bit of time to just chat about things that are on my mind with your family. So I woke up this morning to a Facebook post that pretty much alluded to the ADOS destroying the Democratic Party and giving the Republicans and the Russians and the oligarchs exactly what they want. I don't understand, first of all, how ADOS can be insignificant and all powerful, all in the same breath. Because that's what this person has alluded to me before, that we don't swing elections. That's not the way swing works. We don't swing votes. That's not the way any of this works. So I don't understand how we can go from being insignificant, unable to swing an election. Like for me, if we don't show up in Obama record numbers for Biden, which it's not going down, then the Democrats lose every time. So that's my interpretation of how elections are swung. He has a different view about that and tells me mine is made up. Okay, well, I don't understand how ADOS and our vote can both be insignificant and then be a deal breaker this election cycle. How does ADOS get to own that? And why is it that the people have clearly spoken? Bernie Sanders won 3 straight elections. Now, he wasn't my pick because he ain't on reparations, but I was going to probably fall on my sword for him because I do believe that, Medicare for all and at least 16% of us would be cured of our college loan debt. That's not enough for me. You see, I don't believe any of us are free until all of us are free. And so his agenda has never been enough for me. And that's why I was still going to invoke a show up, vote Democratic down ballot strategy. But, oh, my girl is in the building. Let me bring her up so we love to chat about politics. I'm going to bring her upstairs, family, so I can frame this with her on the live and get her perspective. Stand by. Good morning. Oh my God. Can you hear me? Hold on. Let me turn up my volume because I sure can't hear you. Oh no, it's your best. Okay. Hey, Deezy. I can't hear you for some reason. My volume is up. Let me see. Do I have you muted? No, I don't have your mic muted. I see you, but I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Now.
Now, okay.
Hi, Shauna, ADOS Bay Area. What's up, family? Thank you for joining the live.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Awesome.
I don't know. Okay, now I'm getting feedback. Hold on. Okay. Try talking again.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? I'm sorry if you can't.
I can hear you beautifully now.
Okay.
But what we may have to do is talk one at a time. Because, hold on. Let me turn everything off over here. I'm hearing feedback on again. It's horrible.
Oh no, technology sometimes is not our friend.
I know, sugar. Hold on, let me turn off everything. Okay, that seems.
Can you hear
Ooh,
me? Can you hear me?
I just get feedback when I speak that I'm not happy with. Let's try. Let's try.
But you can hear me.
I can hear you.
Okay.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, lovely Tamara Johnson Shealey, running for U.S. Senate seat. She's in that race down in Georgia. Before we jump in, Tamara, thank you so much for always being a friend of ADOS TV, a sister friend of mine, and just a sister to the entire ADOS movement with this race. We are in dire need of brilliance like yourself in there speaking loud and speaking up for ADOS, akin to how AOC speaks up for her tribe. We need a queen in Congress that speaks loud from the floor for our tribe. Since Ayanna Pressley doesn't do that, they kind of do this in hiding. I don't understand how an AOC, an immigrant, can be louder than an American descendant of slavery when it comes to pushback for elitist bailouts, while we are between 20 and 30% of the population in certain places back east and down south, and yet 70% of the COVID deaths. I don't get a lot of, you see, if that were me, you know me, I'd be letting them have it, airing them all the way out, even if it meant I never get another term. At least my people would know that I have fought hard and long for them, okay? And I don't get how you are in Congress and fighting harder with the Hispanic caucus or for their initiatives than you do ADOS. It baffles me and it disappoints me greatly. So I just thank you for your fearless leadership and tenacity in a race that you're pretty much running on fumes against a huge establishment that has pumped money into a tainted minister candidate. Thank you. Before I let you jump in, I was discussing how someone called out the ADOS movement. I won't mention names. Someone whom I love and respect pretty much has credited us with decimating the Democrats and how the Republicans should feel mighty proud and the Russians and the oligarchs should feel mighty proud that we have pretty much become the reason for our own demise and undoing as a party, thanks to the ADOS movement. Now, this person has also said that we are insignificant and we don't swing elections. I have a different interpretation of swing. I believe if your whole entire existence depends on ADOS showing up and voting in Obama style numbers, and you don't get that swings the election to the Republicans. Okay. That's a swing vote to me. That's not his interpretation of a swing vote. And so my thing is, how in the world can we be called out for destroying a Democratic Party who has clearly stolen the primary yet again? Let's not deal with Bernie being complicit. I'm not going to touch that right now because I really believe he is a beard for the Democratic Party to drive money into the DNC to act blue, and then in the end fall on his sword and not really fight that hard against some of the ills that they're doing and not calling them out and keep calling and referring to Joe Biden as a friend and very capable of running the country when the man can't even complete a thought. Okay? But I don't understand how we can be the ones who are held accountable for why the Democrats will lose this election cycle because we stood up and demanded reparations in exchange for our vote. And the establishment chose Biden over Bernie. And the white progressives are just as mad at that selection and that coup. I don't have any feelings in it because I wasn't rolling with Bernie, because I knew from the first time I rolled with Bernie that when he deflected to us supporting crooked Hillary, I knew something was up. And then when he started that Russiagate nonsense, when he knew full well that Julian Assange and WikiLeaks was real, that wasn't anything, that was a whistleblower. He called Julian Assange and the WikiLeaks, which he knew was instrumental in helping us to get Hillary out. He called it Russiagate. So I didn't fall for that stuff this time around. But there are lots of white folks all the way on the left and some black. He grew in his black support, not enough clearly to take South Carolina, but he grew in black support. It wasn't me. How in the world can we be faulted when you got a whole progressive movement talking about withholding the vote because of the coup, the Biden coup? I'll let you speak.
How do I follow that, Angela?
Sis, sauce. How's this our fault? This man has no agenda, and even less than no agenda for ADOS. But we are being blamed with our insignificant, non-swinging votes for why the Democrats will lose to Trump this election cycle. Are we supposed to enjoy when coup happened in the Democratic Party? Something they should have learned from the last election cycle. Furthermore, Hillary won 3 million more popular votes. Make it make sense. The Electoral College chose Trump. We had no say. We still don't have no say. Why do we act like we have a say? Now I'm showing up and completing the exercise as the Oscar Award winning actress I am, okay? I'm going to show up and play my part. But I don't understand why you continue to give us candidates that we are a clear no to. Bernie won 3 states straight before the coup. Before Obama started making dials to people like a Biden who could not make traction in the race, to have them fall on their sword and get behind Biden to support Biden. Even fake progressive Elizabeth Warren. But as usual, just like the last election cycle, ADOS is being blamed. But we're insignificant. We don't matter. Our votes don't matter. We can't swing elections. And yet we're held accountable if we don't show up and vote blue, no matter damn who, no matter the fact that we have no agenda, none. Because they have lied to themselves so much, they believe their lies. They believe that unseating Trump is the only agenda item that matters to the entire country. Make it make sense.
It doesn't make sense, Angela. It doesn't make sense. And that's why this movement, this ADOS movement, is so vital. And we're so on time. because we are now we're able to speak truth to power, and we're able to have platforms like yours where we can call this stuff out, and we can organize, and we can galvanize, and we can have a true reparations agenda. Oh, no, it doesn't make sense, Angela.
Let me read for my audience. Yay. Shauna says, yes, in person last year, fall, and the virtual meetings online. I'm near the Richmond area off 80 corridor. Okay, they're exchanging notes. Very good. I love it. Thank you so much, guys, for sharing about where you can be found to help grow the movement. This is the part, family, where everybody gets involved in the movement. You understand? The stakes are high. I already told y'all by December, 500,000 of us will be dead, and that's a conservative number from the COVID. And they want to make this a Twinkie 40-ounce weed turkey chicken issue. They don't want to deal with cause. They want to deal with our diets. I know folks who ate pig's feet till 100, who smoked nicotine till 100, who drank alcohol till 100. It ain't that. It is slavery, Jim Crow, and accrued ongoing systemic racism, oppression, and disadvantage in the country our ancestors built with their lives. And no one is talking about that but CBAC, Concerned Black American Citizens, and the ADOS movement. We're coming for that 2.4 trillion relief right now in the next stimulus. They started doing this thing in the half-seas. I think the last one was a 3.5. We are going to sound this alarm. Y'all ain't seen nothing till you see what we got next. We have upped the ask from $6,000 to $10,999 per month for 24 months. And we will revisit that number to see where we're at. All types of goodies are coming, family. And we're making those demands. Because why not? Why not? They sat up here and told us that they couldn't do reparations. They have bailed this country out to the tune of $20 trillion. Not the $4.6 trillion that you saw, the first bailout, family. Mr. Daoud Giazan was on my show last week, and he talked about the $6.6 trillion that they bailed out the stock market in December. They didn't shut the country down till March. We're at $20 trillion while they tell us they can't give us $17 trillion for reparations. Let that sink in. I'm going to my family over here, Tamara, and then I'm going to come back to you. Okay. LaFar Ward. I hope I said that right. Very minuscule Biden he is. Speak truth, Angela Nirvana. Thank you for being on the live. Exactly. The people vote does not elect a president. That's the popular vote. The Electoral College does, period. Can you speak on that? Thank you, Shauna. These are my co-hosts. Can you speak? and what is the point, Tamara, if what's the point in us voting if the Electoral College is going to vote their way anyhow? Can you please share why do we exhaust ourselves with this exercise?
Because it's people like me that need you, down ballot candidates that your vote does count. How do we infiltrate this system? We have to get the U.S. Senate. We got to get our Congress back. We got to get our state legislatures back. We got to get our municipalities back. So it's people like me that need you to show up. The president, no, you're right. She's right. The Electoral College handles that. But I need you. And all those of us that are ADOS that are running across the country, we need you to show up at the ballot and vote down ballot.
Thank you so much. Oh, that does make sense. Okay, I'm back, y'all. Thank you, Tamara. My guest Raul Giazan is in the lobby. He is our 10 o'clock show, and he is going to be sharing the 4 of 7 points he didn't get a chance to touch on the last show. Tamara, have you seen that show?
I have not, Angela. So this is where I've been, everybody. I just completed my law degree, my master's in law, and these last 7 weeks, Thursday was 7 weeks that I have been literally kind of out of the fray. So please forgive me, but I had to focus. Prayerfully, I'm completely done, and I will have my Juris Master's. So I'm back. I can see now. So that's where I've been these last 7 weeks.
Yes, well, congratulations are definitely in order. And could you please share with the family how that is going to help you in your fight for a Senate seat?
Well, this degree now has given me a huge insight into being able to not only interpret the law, but doing a lot of my own research. I don't want to ever depend, and that's just kind of my personality. I don't ever want to ever depend on others to tell me everything. I want to be able to, and you know, and these a lot of these elected officials, they have staff that do all of the grunt work, but some of this stuff I want to be able to go and double check myself. So this degree gives me like my undergrad, my bachelor's is in computer science. So I have the research knowledge. So this has given me some an additional avenue to research the law and really understand how it all correlates. So it was something that I absolutely needed. I am glad that I've completed it. And now I can really focus on getting us to Washington and taking this ADOS movement where it needs to go.
Amen to that. Thank you so much. I know that costs a lot of your time and your resources. And we just appreciate your investment in the ADOS in the way that you have and continue to do. Well, Dawood was on last Saturday and he lit the show up when he shared about COVID being the beard for the elitist money grab yet again. Not that COVID isn't real, not that COVID isn't killing us, but that it is a cover for them to pillage the storehouse yet again, akin to what they did under Obama when he bailed out the corporations and not Main Street. They threw a measly $1,200 to the people, and they are up to about 20 trillion in terms of how much they have pillaged the storehouse, because he shared that in December they started pillaging the storehouse to bail out the stock market. So that's why the stock market is strong, and yet we are in a deep recession headed towards a depression, because no one wants to deal with the fact that the jobs we lost and were laid off from aren't coming back because the businesses can't sustain themselves. If whoever, Dawood, if that's, I mute Dawood tonight. I don't know what that static is. It could be me. I don't know. But anyway, so he was on last week with 3 of 7 of his points as to how all of this is happening. And the information he shared about the work he did as a Black child psychologist in my hometown of Dayton, Ohio, brought me to tears when I learned that the Black suicide rate and the Black crime rate amongst our youths ages 5 through 19 had quadrupled. I literally had to leave the camera. I couldn't handle it, to know that this was happening in my hometown. It hurts me wherever it happens, but that cut deep for a city that I grew up in because of affirmative action and factory jobs and National Cash Register. We had GM and we had National Cash Register. We were thriving. We were able to live like a middle class experience. Easy to buy a house. Hold on 1 second, Tamara. I'm going to mute your mic to see if that'll do it. I'm going to unmute you when it's your turn to speak. For some reason, I'm getting some feedback. But anyway, like I was sharing, we were thriving. My childhood was amazing. I don't know of a child growing up in my era that would have contemplated crime on the level that Mr. Giazon shared with us last Saturday. We had good lives. My Christmases were robust. My birthdays were robust. Lots of love. My mom took care of the community. When people ran out of clothing or food, my mom was that house you came to. So we took care of each other. That's who I get it from. I was reflecting on that as I was selecting my Mother's Day card. I was reflecting on her and my father, who was a Panther in Dayton, Black Panther, and like a Black Panther, okay? A Black liberation, I don't know what you call them. They were the red, the black, and the green, and he taught me about my Blackness. Not the Ohio player, that's my biological father, my stepdad who raised me. And I thought about that as I was picking my mom's Mother's Day card. Where do I get this deep love for our people? And it's between her and him. My mother was a caregiver. And I'll never forget the time we looked up and she had given away all of my baby sister's underwear to the neighborhood children, the clean ones, you know. She just had a heart for the people who didn't have in the community. And I couldn't understand it. How are you going to be giving away all the way down to her last pair of underpants? And she says, because we can buy more underpants. And the neighbor needed them. It was always a neighbor. Stray people, stray cats, stray dogs. My mother was that person, and people knew it. We were raised down the street from the DeSoto Baths. It was a project in Dayton, Ohio. So I understand where I get it from but anyway, Mr. Giazon shared that, and at 10 o'clock, he'll be on to share his other 4 points. The 4 of 7 that he didn't get a chance to share about last Saturday. You don't want to miss that show. It's immediately following Tamara Johnson Shealey. So let me unmute you, and you can share your thoughts.
Can you hear me? So it's, you know, I now I see where you get it from, Angela. That I was wondering where all that fire came from. It was your family. It was your mom. It was your stepdad. It was I was wondering. So, you know, it's just, I think many of us have this burning inside of us, and I think it's definitely playing out now in this ADOS season. And we got to get reparations. We got to repair the damage that's been done to our people, systemically, generationally. It is, you know, that we keep talking, but you know what? It's time to fight. It's time for us to go to Washington. It's time for us, like I said, to take over these state houses. It's time for us to take over the courthouses. It's time for Black people to rise up and take what is rightfully ours, because they're not going to just give it to us. So we literally have to go in. We got to win these seats, because as we win these seats, we can really make a difference. You know, you mentioned how, you know, Ayanna Pressley doesn't speak to us, doesn't speak for us. And when you are, when you don't own your voice, you can't, that when you're taking dollars from these large corporations and you're taking dollars from those that control you, you can't speak for those of us that you need to be represented, because you have to, you got to give it back. You owe it back. You owe it back to those that have bought and paid for you. So that's why I have, my campaign has been, she's right, it runs on steam. But, you know, I'm prayerful that as we get closer and closer, the steam will pick up, the pace will pick up, and this steam will propel us forward. And this is a seat that we can win. Georgia is right. There are 21 candidates that are on the ballot for this race. And it is what we call a jungle primary. And that means in this particular race, because this is a seat that is a special election, This particular race, everybody's on the ballot at the same time. We're all on the November ballot. 8 of us are Democrats, quote unquote. 8 of us are, and I am very unique in my race. I think I stick out like I call it a unicorn, not like a sore thumb. I truly stick out because I do talk about a Black agenda. I do talk about reparations. I do talk about the repair that needs to happen for Black people in this country, and that is taboo. You know, how dare I? So I have not gotten a whole lot of media. I have not gotten a whole lot of support locally, but I'm just encouraged by the fact that I come from the beauty and barber industry. I think you can see it right here over my shoulder. I come from the beauty and barber industry, so I have a lot of support from the industry, and I have the love and support of ADOS. And if we could galvanize and continue to really push from those two perspectives, I really think this is a race that at the end I could win. The first part of this race is you have to get 50% plus one in order to right out win. But with 21 candidates, that's not gonna, I don't anticipate that happening. So the top 2 vote getters will have to be, I can't hear Angela at all.
I know I mute myself so that I could hear you clearly and the audience could hear you clearly, but I think the noise went away. If it comes back, I'll mute. I'm blown away that you've got 21 candidates in this race. How many seats you said, how many seats are available?
Georgia has 2 U.S. Senate seats on the ballot this year. This is a special election because the senator that we're running to replace, well, actually the governor appointed Kelly Loeffler. She's the one that took the insider, that's being accused of the insider trading. She was the one that sold off her stock. Her husband is with the stock exchange. So she is now sitting in that seat, but this is a special election to finish Johnny Isakson's term. So of the 21 candidates, 2 of us have to be the top vote getters because nobody will get 50% plus 1. So the 2 that gets the most votes. But if you think about it and you do the math, there's 21 candidates, everybody's going to get less than 5% of the votes. Come on. So if I can get my those that believe in my candidacy, that believe in this movement, that believe in me from the industry, if I can get those people to show up in my white allies and just get my numbers, I can get surely above that 4 or 5%. And like I say, if all things are considered equal and everybody got the same amount, getting 5% would be a top. So that's not a lot, and it's not. As crazy as the 21 candidates sounds, the numbers are in our favor. That there's so many candidates in this race. So the 2 top vote getters will actually have a runoff in January of 2021.
Wow. Okay. So can you explain to my audience why, with our support, it's very reasonable for you to win?
Mm-hmm.
Explain that, because you just talk about the candidate who is sullied, Kelly Loeffler. There are other things about Warnock. I think he's in the middle of a divorce or something's going on with him. Can you just break it down for ADOS in plain speak, how with enough dollars and enough dials we could get you the victory, given the drama out there in Georgia with some of the candidates that are running that were hand selected by the Democratic Party?
Mm-hmm. Like I said, Georgia is, I always say Georgia is right. You know, for us to have 2 U.S. seats up for grabs at the same time, the nation will be watching us. The nation is going to be paying attention to Georgia. This is huge. This is historical that we have 2 U.S. Senate seats on the ballot at the same time. This particular special election, there's a lot of establishment candidates in this race. Those that are, really towing the party line, Democrat and Republican. But I believe that Georgia is wanting something different. There's a lot of people here. We have an emerging young population. that don't see things as black and white. They do see the gray, and that part I'm excited about, because they're looking for something other than the right and the left. They're looking for candidates that can give them more. So they're looking for candidates like that, look like me, that talk like me. They have, these kids today are just, they're different, and I'm excited about that. So I see so much opportunity in the fact that I'm not an establishment candidate. I'm much so progressive. Even the progressives here, they're still trying to figure out who they are. But I'm real clear about who I am. So I'm not waiting on them to figure out who they are as progressives in Georgia. I'm real clear about who I am and where I stand. But these establishment candidates, people are tired of that. People are tired of that, and Georgia is tired of that. So I'm making my way, which doesn't look like the traditional way. Like I said, traditional media is not picking up on me. But social media does. I have a pretty decent following on social media. I'm making my way with broadcasts, even like yours, Angela, that I'm sharing, that people are sharing. The word is getting out. It just doesn't look like it has looked with previous elections.
Absolutely. You're still doing your phone bank trainings?
Mm-hmm.
My question is, do you have the training on like an audio that people can just dial in to listen to, or do they have to be on live? A lot of the challenges I know I'm having is I have to gig now that my unemployment insurance is not kicked in as a 1099 contractor. So I'm on the West Coast, but want to make dials. Tomorrow is my day to make some dials, to start doing that now that I've got a foothold on my schedule with gigging. I do Instacart, and the tips have been off the charts. If anyone needs immediate cash, look into Instacart in your communities. Sometimes I feel like these white folks are trying to pay me reparations through my and play the y'all can play that white guilt card all day. You understand me? Because I certainly wear it the hell out. It's paying my mortgage, Anyway, so look into that. But the hours are crazy, and it makes me. It's my hours. I'm 3 hours behind the East. So when I want to make dials, they're winding down, and I don't want to piss people off. So tomorrow is my day. That's a tough day too. It's a tough day to make dials because it's everybody's church day, but I have to get it in where I can fit. So my question, back to my earlier question, is the training recorded, or we have to be on one of the live training calls? I've done dials. I trust that I know what to do with a script and making dials, but I just would love to get a refresher and to hear some of the talking points in that training.
Yeah, it's just a one-time training though. It's just that one initial training that you that I conduct, and I just like to get to know the people that are dialing, that are making the calls for me. That it's just one time, and then you're able to make your calls when it's convenient for you. Maybe an hour a week, maybe 2 hours a week, maybe 30 minutes. Whatever time that anybody can give. Right now, I have the fundraising for me has been dismal. I have not pushed to ask people for money, and I just can't, and I need to, honestly. But how do you ask people for monies that many people don't know where the next money is coming from? So I have not felt comfortable with asking anybody for contributions other than those of you who are on automatic and you've been just continuing to give, and I sincerely appreciate those of you that are. I mean, any dollar amount will help, but if you could just take an hour a week, 2 hours a week, and make calls, that is direct voter engagement. We can't get any better than talking to the voters directly. So what you can't give in financial support to my candidacy, I asked if you could give me a little bit of time, that would definitely help my campaign.
Well, thank you so much for that. And the beauty of it, family, hold on one second, I'm going to mute you. I hear some feedback. The beauty of it, family, is that we can make dials from wherever we are in the country. So, no, we don't have the money, but we can burn these phones all day, every day, and we need to. It doesn't matter that she's not running for your state. What matters is we coalesce, we aggregate people. Since we can't aggregate dollars at this time, well, let me back up. Some of us can pay and support your campaign. So I'm asking, if you have not lost your job or you're not crippled by the COVID, please financially give to Tamara at tamaraforgeorgia.com. tamaraforgeorgia.com. I will try to type that in the chat. If not, after the show, I will. But some of us can give. Some of us still have jobs and we still have means. Not everybody is hurting in the ADOS, and I've never ascribed to that. Even I, who have been laid off, continue to give recurring payments to Tamara's campaign. It ain't no big dollars. It ain't a whole lot. But everybody I was given to prior to being laid off, I continue to sow into them. That's my tithe into my people, into our deliverance. We got to replace these people one by one. Okay? It is the reason for the PAC. Okay? This is why the super PAC is needed. You're looking right at her. Aggregated dollars and aggregated people wins elections. No matter how big or small, when we aggregate, that's how everybody else is getting their politics done. There is no reason she should be struggling to win. Don't you let nobody tell you money doesn't matter. We've got to pay for our politics. And tragically, we're on fire, and we don't have a lot of time for this to trickle in. We're at DEFCON 4, if you haven't noticed. So I'm asking, give what you would have given to the PAC to Tamara Johnson Shealey. Give it there. I'm asking for that because I want to see her win. And I know that we are strong enough in numbers at this stage to help her win. So I'm asking you to do your part. Join a call. Let us know when the next phone bank training is. As a matter of fact, no, it should be on the website, www.tamara4georgia.com. You will get the information there for how you can get training. She can meet you, know who's making calls on her behalf. You guys can get a personal training with information in that training that shares with you your talking points so you can be on autopilot. Okay? But get involved. This is the point where everybody gets to be in the movement. And don't tell me you don't have time, because many of you have your unemployment if you were a W-2 employee and you're at home. You don't have to be in these COVID-19 streets. I wouldn't be out here if I didn't have to be out here. But there's no way they're going to wipe my property off the monopoly board. They came for it the first time. But the blood is on the door. The blood is on me. The blood is on Tamara. The blood is on the entire ADOS movement. 10,000 may fall to our left and to our right, but it shall not come near us. That's the square I'm on. So I get out here and do what I have to do. I go with God. I look to God. I say, God, which supplements to take? I drink my water with my lime infused in it. I cook with so much garlic. You probably smell it coming through my pores. You know, compounded with my perfume. You know, it's whatever. I eat the garlic. I drink it. I drink my limes. You must take care of yourselves, family, and know that you don't have to be a victim of COVID when you take care of yourself. And you love yourself and you love your people. We got a mighty work to do. We can't fall. We don't have no time to fall. We don't have time to be bedridden. With that said, let me let you jump in before I close out with the other comments here. They got some great comments happening that I want to share. Hold on one second. I'm going to unmute you and mute myself. If there's more static, I'm going to mute me while you speak, Tamara.
Mentioned why it matters. My candidacy matters across the country, even though I may not represent you in Georgia, but my vote does. Me being in the United States Congress, being in the U.S. Senate, I will be voting on a national agenda on everything that affects us nationally. So I do represent all of you, even though I will be coming from the state of Georgia. And it's not my win, it's our win, everybody. So hopefully you can see this as an opportunity for us to get to Washington. I've never said me. I don't use words like me and I and anything singular. I always say us, we, and our, because this is our movement and my win is for us. So we are going to Washington. So thank you for this podcast.
Absolutely. Anytime and every time, sis. Okay, let's conclude. Voting is an exchange, not a gift, Shauna said. Dawn Page, good morning, my love. Okay, LaFar says, now we have a true voice from 50 plus years ago from MLK, and we have a direction towards reparations. Executive order. Yes, well, the executive order, I don't know if anybody knows in the chat if I think the reparations could be an executive order, but the money, I think, is a Congress decision. Help me out with that, Tamara. How does that work? Can the president sign an executive order for reparations with money attached? I'm going to mute so I can hear you.
And that I would have to research because I don't believe, I'm not sure how that actually works. If because Congress appropriates the money, like you said, so we would have to really dive into how that would actually work. Because remember when Trump wanted the money for his wall, so I'm not sure, the money still has to come through Congress. So I believe that is how it works.
And furthermore, I would really prefer a Congress to give it to us. If we can get a large enough candidates like Tamara to actually be in the Senate and in the House speaking loud about reparations, we can get this done. And that way it stands. When you're dealing with executive orders, you saw how Trump pretty much came in and undid everything Obama did. So executive orders can be overturned by this, the president that comes in that follows. I don't want reparations to be on a yo-yo like that. I would prefer, this be done in Congress. And that's why it's important for us to support candidates like Tamara and replace the standing Congress with people like her who are for our reparations. Shauna Kim, okay, cool. Hopefully I'll see you. Okay, that's a meetup comment. Very good. Thank you guys for connecting and growing the movement. LaFair says fear. Shauna says millions went to Israel right before the trillions to the market. Then more billions and millions in corporate pockets. Yeah, she's speaking to the elitist money grab under the COVID. During the COVID, we get $1,200 a piece, which can't even really pay people's mortgage. $500 per child, and no more coming so far. While the House continues to support the money grab happening, they are complicit. They are complicit, as far as I'm concerned. They don't get a pass. Lafayette Ward says, Lafayette, that's what I'm calling it. Electoral College has always, hold on, I'm going to mute you. Electoral College has always, popular vote shows a propaganda vote, but any vote for the House of Representatives is candid votes. Do you know what that means, Tamara? Okay. That's confusing to us, Lafayette. Um, Lisa Todd says, wow, when you don't own your voice, you can't speak. Yeah, that's exactly what is happening to Ayanna Pressley and why AOC is free to speak. Is that why, Tamara? She can speak because the people put her there?
Mhm.
So this is why Tamara will be able to speak, because we need to put her there. She can go on the floor and clown in a way that Ayanna Pressley cannot, because Ayanna Pressley is bought and sold, as are many of the CBC. So, wow. Okay, I'm going down. Wow, why can't all CBC sound like Tamara? A shame, but keep moving, Tamara. I've been notifying my GA cousins about you. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Lafayette. And Tamara thanks you too. Did I mute her? Go ahead, Tamara.
I
Um,
said thank you. I appreciate
does Yvette know about Tamara? I'll let you speak to that.
that. Yes.
Naeem Wael, agreed. Francine Johnson, thank you so much for being on the live. Well, I can't see the rest of the comments, family, but I want to thank you in advance for visiting www.tamaraforgeorgia.com to find out her next training and to get involved on these dials. Like, I want her to have a bazillion dials from the ADOS movement, especially, who is, quarantined at home mostly. Shout out to all of us who are on the front lines as essential workers. I am amongst you. And I have grown a deep compassion for your line of work. You are our unsung heroes and sheroes. I'm going to allow Tamara to say her closing remarks. Remember, family, tamaraforgeorgia.com, phone bank training. Let's give her in dials what we wish we could give her in dollars. Tamara?
Thank you, Angela, first of all, for this broadcast. Thank you for stepping up. I'm so proud of all that you've done with engaging our community and speaking truth to power. Just thank you, Angela, for staying in the fight, because I know sometimes this gets hard. So I appreciate all that you're doing. And I want to thank my ADOS family, because honestly, I don't think I could have run this fourth time. For those of you that don't run, this is my fourth run for office. I ran for the Georgia State Senate in 2014, 2016, and 2018. So this is my fourth consecutive run for office. But if it wasn't for the love of this ADOS movement and being in the moment of where we are in history, I don't think I could have done this without you guys. So I just want to thank you for being the wind under my wings, because this is a statewide race. This is a heavy undertaking. Those first three races cost me everything. When I say everything, I mean literally everything. But I know that we're in a season now this is a shift, and I see it as a reset. And I see that ADOS, that was once at the back of the line, now has an opportunity to be at the front of the line. And we're going to get our check. We're going to get our reparations. We're going to get is what is owed to us as Black people in this country. So I want to thank you. You can find more information on my website at tamaraforgeorgia.com. If you can give some dollars, I will greatly appreciate it. We spend them wisely. So just know that your every dollar is, I'm a Black woman. We know how to make a dollar out of 15 cents. So
Yeah.
we're very intentional about what we're doing. But if you could give a dollar, I'll definitely appreciate it. But if you can't, please give me some of your time, whatever time you can give me to be a part of our phone bank. You can find more information again at tamaraforgeorgia.com.
If someone could type that in the chat, I was able to type it and can't send it. I don't know. This app can be so glitchy. And with that said, family, I have to close this show out to make space for Mr. Dawood Giazan. He's going to be sharing about the balance of his 4 of 7 talking points relative to COVID being a cover for the elitist money grab and what that's costing ADOS. Dawood, I actually mute your mic. I'm going to sign out. You can stay logged in, and then we won't be able to see him. He has shut the video down, but I'll bring his screen up, and you'll be able to hear him through the sound only. He's audio only, family. He's got his reasons. And with that said, I'm going to close us out with prayer that the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over ADOS and its allies. Wherever we are, God truly is, because you are the face of God. You are the voice of God. You are the hands and feet of God. You are the living temple of the Spirit of the living God. Until a few minutes from now, if you don't plan to rejoin us, you make it a beautiful, God-inspired rest of your day and weekend. Until next time, always know, I love you, Black. I love you, strong. Peace, family. Thank you, Tamara.
Thank you, Angela. Have a good one, everybody.
Okay.